Super Scrabble. More like super makes me want to stab myself in the face with a fork. Let's talk about it. What does that even mean, Bowers Game? Ahoy there, YouTube. We're back again today for another game review. I'm here with my good friend Adam.
Hey.
And we're back for another Thoughts from the Corner. We're checking out Super Scrabble. More spaces, more tiles, more points. Add to your fun. America's favorite word game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 to adult. And the big catch in Super Scrabble is you've got a bigger board with more spaces. Now, one thing I do like here is they actually delineate, a normal Scrabble board, but then you're going to have 3 extra spaces around the outside, which means not only do you get the doubles, you get the triples, you can get quadruple letter and word scores, which can make for some pretty big swings. Also, you have more letters, and that's really about the only difference from Scrabble to regular Scrabble. You also have this official Scrabble score sheet, which is kind of crappily made. It's kind of weird that they separate it into 2 rows instead of just making it like this. But that's neither here nor there. Other than that, it's just totally regular Scrabble for the most part. And so we're going to have, I think, 2 very different opinions on this because Adam is a Scrabble connoisseur. He dominates at Scrabble. Like, some of the words he was using were stupid, like pint and quee and all this stuff. Whereas I am dumb when it comes to words. Nearly flunked out of high school, flunked out of college twice. Not my cup of tea. So let's start with you. What did you think about Super Scrabble?
It's Scrabble that overstays its welcome. Like,
Preach.
Scrabble's fun as a game. I enjoy it. I like to figure out how to get the right letter in the right spot, and what word can I create out of these things. Like, nice little puzzler, but it's just too much. Like, it just keeps going and going, and like we were making words at a pretty fair clip for a Scrabble game.
It was like 2 hours.
Yeah, and it took us 2 hours. So, yeah, just play normal Scrabble.
So here's the thing. I don't particularly like Scrabble that much. I think Scrabble's one of the worst word games I've ever played because Scrabble, word games in general, have a couple faults. And what Super Scrabble manages to do is take these faults and make them super. Like, it takes the worst parts and makes them worse. So let's go down the list of what I think is bad about Scrabble and how Super Scrabble magnifies it. So first and foremost, because the board is bigger, you always generally have more spots that you could go, which sounds good, but it leads to you thinking more because there's more possibilities and more places you can go and more times like, yeah, I could do this, but I'm sure there's something else that's better, which means more downtime between turns. Like, much more downtime between turns. Like, I had one of those ones where I went to the bathroom and then I came back.
And Alan was like, oh, wait, what did you score? Oh, it's been my turn the whole time.
Yeah. That's not on Alan. It's just on this game. Also, Scrabble, in general, you need to have everyone on a level playing field. I think a good word game is the kind of game where someone who's really good at word games and someone who's not really good at word games can somehow meet in the middle and have a somewhat good shot of duking it out. And there's some great games that do that. Scrabble is not one of those games. It's like 80 years old, so I understand why. Mechanisms back then weren't as complex. However, with Super Scrabble, it's just that, except you have more time in the game knowing you're getting your ass kicked. Yeah. Like, I was about 4 turns in, and I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be one of these games. And then an hour and a half later, I still knew
Well, the thing is, there was so much space on the board that I hit 2 bingos in a row.
Yes. That's a great point, because, once again, if you're really good at Scrabble and putting together those words, you have more room to maneuver, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Like, even at the very end, it was like, I had another one that I could play, and I was like, man, if Alan hadn't played this one word, like, right in the spot, it would have gone there, too. And so it's just like, even at the end of the game, there was plenty of spaces to go.
There was.
Like, and normally you get to the end of a Scrabble game, and it's like, all right, I can fit a 3-letter word here, and maybe a 4-letter here. It gets really tight, and this did not.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, it's only 3 extra rows, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot.
And you would think that would, like, speed up the game. Oh, you can make longer words. But, you still get that thing where you're like, oh, I have 4 O's and 3 E's. What the heck am I going to do? Yeah.
And then all the other faults with Scrabble are still there because it's still just the same game as Scrabble. But the only person I think I could recommend this to is if you love Scrabble and you have a group that loves Scrabble and you're on an even playing field and you play Scrabble pretty routinely, then you are going to love this. Potentially, if you wish, man, I wish this game of Scrabble would just last an extra 40 minutes. But if you're not that, this game sucks.
Instead of playing Super Scrabble, you can just play 2 regular games of Scrabble.
Like, I will say this. I have always thought that I don't particularly like Scrabble. Like, it's like, I think it's okay. I'll play it. Every once in a while, I'll finish in second or third and not last place. Be like, look at me, I did good. But this makes me realize how much I hate Scrabble. I have not been this bored in a game in quite a while. Now, I'm notorious for taking quick turns, and me sucking at this game did not help it. But I probably had hour and 20 minutes downtime in this game. And it's not just me. I'm sure you had a whole bunch of downtime too. Because you're probably like, yep, this is what I'm going to do. Everyone has an hour plus of downtime in this. And yeah, some of it's like you, like, oh yeah, I'll come on for it. It's just, they just took Scrabble and this game sucks. There's a reason why you haven't heard of Super Scrabble, and that's because it sucks. And now you're clicking like, oh, Super Scrabble, it's nice, that's cool. Because it was released like, it was like released in like 2009. Like, you would think that this is like a 1987 piece of crap. No, this was a 2009 piece of crap. Thanks for that, Winning Move Games. Anything nice to say about Super Scrabble?
I mean, if you're at the thrift store right now and you're thinking about maybe I should get this,
arts
go
and
ahead
crafts?
and buy it because it's got a lot of tiles and you can do arts and crafts with
200 tiles. The bag is ingrained, even though it just says Scrabble brand. It's not Super Scrabble because that's what they did. They're like, yeah, we're just going to use... Yeah, this just sucks. I'm glad to review it and get it out of my house. But the question I was asking at the end of the video is, if I were to hand this to you, would you want it?
Only for the tiles.
So there you go. Super Scrabble. If you're looking for Scrabble, but better, look elsewhere. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below as I'm trying to reach 17,000 subscribers in 2023 to make my biggest year ever. And in the comments below, let me know, what game would you like to see supersized?
Ooh,
I don't even know what that
there's
means.
one, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Orleans. Just more options.
Orleans?
Yeah, just make it a bigger version. Just bigger Orleans.
I don't know. Space base with 3 dice.
Ooh, that'd be hot. That'd be hot. We should make that. Let me know in the comments below what game would you like to superfy, and as always, thanks for your time. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.